Okay, so as you can tell, I'm making this video at night, and that's because I just got back from a candidate forum for local politicians running in the area for local municipal boards and utility boards and all that kind of silliness. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to mention where I do and do not open carry. Where I do open carry. I open carry almost every chance I get. Very rare exceptions. I open carry every day in my home, while I'm watching TV, when I do yard work, when I take my dogs on walks, when I run errands. Of course, when running errands, I'm going into private businesses, private property. Something I try to do to kind of go the extra mile, to act as the ambassador I see myself as for a cause, for open carry, is I ask for permission rather than forgiveness. So instead of just going there and waiting for someone to notice, waiting for someone to say something, I talk to the business owner, I call the business owner, I send a letter to the business owner, or whatever I think best for that particular business, and I say, hey, look, do you have any policies that prohibit the legal carry of firearms on your premises? And I hear back from them. Almost every business I've talked to says, you know, that's fine, thank you for asking. And now they know about open carry, and they know that I may be a person who comes in to their business and they're not surprised by it. The only person who said no is Winco Foods. They have a long-standing policy that prohibits open carry, but I still, because of me asking permission, I still had a positive encounter where the owner said, oh wow, that's cool, I didn't know you could do that, I wish more people open carried. And he said, I wish you could, but it's a corporate policy that's been in place for whatever it is, 20, 30 years. So even though I was told no, I still was able to have a positive influence on someone who works at Winco. Now, of course, I choose to try to do my shopping at places other than Winco. So, for instance, Wal-Mart, you can do your grocery shopping there, and Wal-Mart is okay with you open carry. In fact, I'll post in the description a link to, or I'll post the entire thing, the correspondence I had when I asked Walmart what their policy was, because even though they're a big corporation, especially because they're a big corporation, I wanted to ask permission, because whether we like it or not, open carry is still out of the mainstream, controversial issue, and I wouldn't want to just throw a private business into that situation. I understand the arguments of, well, it's my right, and all that kind of stuff, but I really respect private property rights, and I recognize open carry for what it is. So that's where I do carry. Where I don't carry, like I said, is private business owners if they don't allow it. But also there are places where I'm legally prohibited from open carrying. Now, I don't agree with these laws. I think these laws are stupid. But there are men with guns who are willing to initiate violence against me if I don't follow these rules, no matter how unconstitutional they are, no matter how immoral they are. So obviously, the first one that pops to my head when I'm thinking of this is the gun-free school zones. Here in California, and I'm sure this is how it is in a lot of places, you have to stay 1,000 feet away from the edge of a school property. So even though I can't think of a scenario, I've never been told an example, even though this has been in place for 10, 15, whatever years, of someone who got a gun, said, I'm going to go harm my classmates, my teachers, my whatever. They started on their way to the school, then got to 1,001 feet and said, you know what? I was willing to murder people, but I'm not willing to go within the gun-free school zone area. So I like to think of the gun-free zone as a victim zone, as a target-rich environment. It's not a good idea. If gun-free school zones work, why not just have crime-free school zones or bad-free areas? In fact, why don't we make all towns and all areas where people are bad-free? Let's just eliminate bad. So it's stupid. The other places you can't carry, so I obviously don't, are federal buildings, a lot of government buildings. In fact, just to save myself the trouble, I never go to a government building open carrying for fear that it may be allowed there, it may not, and I won't know until I'm arrested. So I just stay away from government buildings. Also here in California, and I'm sure this applies to other places, but I know for a fact here in California, you can't carry where any legislative body is meeting. So while my city council meets in a hall, they meet, when they meet as a legislative body because they can pass ordinance, they vote on things. So they're considered, like I said, a legislative body, and therefore you can't carry firearms where they are because they're special. And if I want to participate in my city council's meetings, I'm not allowed to protect myself or those around me. Once again, another stupid rule, but men with guns are willing to follow them and bring harm to me. So I just don't do it. If I don't carry somewhere, if I'm carrying, or if I would want to carry somewhere, but I'm legally prohibited from carrying, I do what's called empty holster carry. Actually, I don't know what exactly it's called, but what I do is, and you'll see here, because the candidate forum I went to tonight was at at school, I couldn't open carry. So what I do as a protest is I take empty holsters. While it doesn't get a lot of attention, it does get some. I've had people ask me questions, hey, why do you do that? Why is your holster empty? And the other positive to that is a lot of people who do know that I open carry, they see the empty holsters and they go, why are they empty? Why don't you have your gun? Why not here? And I get another chance to, preach open carry and how, yeah, isn't this law silly that I can't be here? Isn't it silly that I can be outside of the post office looking at the bulletin board, but I can't go into the post office to get my mail for my P.O. box? So it's just another thing I do. I find it to be effective. If you're going to open carry, make sure you find out the laws of where you can and cannot open carry. Make sure you're diligent, because even if you make a simple mistake, intending no harm, harm may be brought down upon you. So there you go.